Today on Whiskey Bravo Adventures, we'll be recovering a Toyota Tundra off of the Sorrel Peak Trail. Right now, we're currently heading south on Kelso Valley Road from the 178 and working our way to the trailhead. So I found out about this recovery from the president of the Bakersfield Trailblazers 4x4 Club. The owner of the vehicle that is stuck on the trail had reached out to the club and asked if anyone could assist with getting his vehicle off the trail. The club president then sent out a text alert to let everybody know that there was someone in need of assistance. I saw the alert Tuesday morning and then responded to it and advised that I would be available to help out. So we got the information as to where the vehicle was and made contact with the vehicle owner and ended up actually picking up the vehicle owner on our way out to the location where the vehicle was at. The vehicle owner was riding with me and he explained that he had been out trail driving. I believe this was Friday or Saturday, weekend prior, and basically it took a wrong turn on the trail and eventually realized that he probably should turn around, but the area that he was at did not have a lot of room to turn around and he ended up getting stuck, getting the vehicle stuck. So he did say that when he was out on the trail was in great condition, and this was all before Hurricane Hilary had hit the southern portion of California. So he was driving the trail prior to Hilary hitting, and we're doing the recovery after Hilary hit. And according to the vehicle owner, the trail changed significantly after the storm. So we're coming off of Kelso Valley Road here, and we're turning on to Paiute Mountain Road. And as soon as we turned onto the road, the vehicle owner stated that he already noticed a drastic difference in the road conditions after Hilary had hit. So this is about 2 or 3 days after the vehicle owner had been traveling the road and or the trail and got stuck. So yeah, I immediately noticed a lot of water damage on the road, and I also noticed what looked like some type of heavy equipment tracks in the dirt. So we started heading up this is Paiute Mountain Road. So now we're heading up Paiute Mountain Road and just working our way out to the area where the vehicle's actually at. So we're coming up to the intersection of Sorrel Peak Road and Paiute Mountain Road. And the vehicle owner stated that he believed he was in Clairville. Clairville is actually a couple miles further up the road to the right there. And from Clairville, you can take a road that goes back out to Jawbone Canyon. But the vehicle owner said that he turned left onto Sorrel Peak and figured that this road would take him out somewhere. He wasn't sure where, but he just figured he'd go explore it. So here I could already see some very fresh rutting in the road from the runoff from all the rain they had received up here. And this was just basically an indication of what the rest of the trail was going to look like from here on out. So we're just about at the vehicle. The vehicle owner and I had both got out and walked down to the vehicle, and then I came back to my rig and started driving down it. There's some deep rutting right here. A lot of the rocks are exposed now. The vehicle owner stated that this did not look anything like this when he had come down it. Alright, so here's our predicament. There's the truck that's stuck. And this is what the water's done to the trail. This trail was actually in really good shape, but this last storm that we had pretty much destroyed it. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to pull the rear end of the truck back onto the trail and try to get him backed up so he can turn around, and then see if we can't pull him up out of here. So at this point, it should be noted that I was with another club member, Dave. Dave was actually working his way back to an area of the trail where there was actual cell phone reception, so that we could try to get a hold of two other guys that were en route from Porterville. Basically what I'm doing here is I'm using a soft shackle through the wheel. There's no recovery points on the Tundra, so I'm using a soft shackle through the wheel so I can get a hold of the wheel, and I'm basically going to hook my winch line up to the soft shackle and then just try to pull the rear of the Tundra over to the left to get it back onto the trail. The front end of the Tundra was up against some small trees, and the rear end was kind of wedged up against that bank there. So here you can see the rear end of the pickups coming over to the left, back onto the trail. This worked out pretty good. The soil was really like a real fine gravel on top, so the rear of the truck was just kind of sliding right across the surface, which is exactly what I wanted it to do. So we got him back onto the trail straight, and we're just gonna have him back up. I want to try to get him turned around, so if he just comes back straight. All right, let me just pull a winch line. All right, he's sliding there, so we're just gonna pull a winch line. So here we just about have the winch line pulled out, and then we're just gonna get hooked up to the rear of the Tundra, and we're gonna start pulling it back now. Larry, the owner, is in the Tundra, just helping to back it up and steer it. And then we're just winching him back so we can try to get him to a point where he can turn around. And here you can also see that Dave, another member from the 4x4 club, is on scene with us now. So yeah, we're just trying to get him, trying to get Larry pulled straight on the trail so we can see if we can get him turned around. So we were trying to get the Tundra turned around on the trail in this spot where it was originally stuck, and eventually it just got stuck again. The soil was too loose and too gravelly on top, so it just ended up getting stuck again, being only two-wheel drive. There you can see the tires spinning again. So what we decided to do was we decided to snatch block off of a tree that was directly behind the truck. So we threw a tree saver around that tree, hooked up a snatch block to it, and then hooked up to the back of the Tundra, and basically pulled the Tundra back as far as we could. So we finally got the pickup unstuck again. We had walked down the trail earlier and saw that there was a better spot to turn around, probably about 50 yards or so further down the trail. So we just had Larry go ahead and drive the Tundra down the trail a little bit further, turn around, and then drive back up as far as he could, and he made it to where my recovery gear was, and that's where he stopped.
So we got him turned around finally. We couldn't do it at that spot initially where he was at. It just wasn't working out, but he was able to drive forward and then further down the hill, and there's a better spot to turn around down there. So he got turned around and was able to drive himself up to where he was initially stuck at, but that's where my gear was at. So right now he's just having some overheating issues for some reason. He's not sure why, but he's just going to top off the radiator, and we're going to see how far he can drive up here. My only concern is this spot right here is washed out pretty good, but if he straddles this, I think he'll be able to make it up. So we're just gonna let him top off the radiator, let that rig cool down a little bit, and see where we're at. So we made a little bit of progress. We got it turned around, and Larry was able to drive up the trail a fair distance, but he just got hung up here. So right now we're just trying to get a D-ring, so we have somewhere to connect to, and then we're going to try to winch Larry up through here, because two-wheel drive is just spinning, there's no traction. So gotta admit though, other than the mosquitoes, you know, it's actually pretty nice up here.
So because of the amount of incline and the deep rutting and loose sand, gravel, mud, whatever you want to call it, I didn't feel that I could just turn around and pull Larry up, even though I had four-wheel drive. It just seemed like there's too many rocks to try and overcome, and there'd be no way to really keep up any momentum coming up the trail with the conditions. So we just decided to go ahead and winch him up, basically like one winch cable length at a time. So the rest of the recovery is pretty much just going to be a rinse and repeat. We hook up to him, we pull him up as far as we can. I reposition the Jeep, hook up to him again, and just keep pulling him up. Like I said, there were turns in the trail, which also made it hard to get a good straight pull for any distance. But yeah, this is the rest of the recovery is just pretty much a rinse and repeat of, pulling as far as I can pull, repositioning, and pulling again.
They're going to come up the side. Otherwise, you're going to cross his table. So turn driver. Yeah.
So right here, just to clarify, I'm just backing up. The winch is in free spool right now. I'm not trying to pull him with the winch line while I'm backing up. I'm just letting the winch free spool cable out so I can reposition the Jeep.
On that side.
Yeah, you need to get this way a little more forward. Okay. Now a little bit tight. Yeah, there you go. Hold it. Okay.
So here I noticed that I just had a bunch of winch line basically on one end of the winch, and it was kind of like getting really thick on that side. So I just unspooled the winch a little bit manually and then let it rewind a little bit uh, just so I could get a more even spooling on the winch line.
Yeah, I just wanted to clear that rock there. I don't like being on the road. No.
I can see your vehicle.
And this is going to be pretty much our last pull. We're pretty much over the worst part of the trail. So we're just going to set up for this one last pull to get Larry up around this rock and this last part of the incline. So that's pretty much going to be the end of the recovery. I ended up leaving my residence at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We got up to the Toyota Tundra at about 5 o'clock in the evening, and I think right now it's probably around, I want to say around 8 o'clock. I know we got to the end of the trail back out onto Kelso Valley Road at about 9 o'clock or somewhere right around there. So yeah, it ended up being a pretty long day. I want to say Larry was a great guy. I couldn't have been more happy to help him. He was just he was an interesting guy. It was fun to talk to him and hear about some of his stories. So yeah, it was a really good trip. Dave from the four-wheel drive club also, he was a big help. You know, I would not have wanted to go out here alone, and I'm sure Dave would not have wanted to go out alone either. So it was great to have somebody with me. We only ended up using my rig just because there was only that much room on the trail, but it was good having another capable
Good
vehicle
job,
with
Larry.
us. So yeah, we got him out, and we're just going to backtrack out to Kelso Valley Road, and that's going to wrap it up for this video pretty much. So yeah, it was a good learning experience for me. I definitely learned that I am capable of getting myself out if I have to, and got some good experience with my gear. So yeah, it was a good time. Everybody came off the trail safe, and all the vehicles are off the trail, and it went really well. Thanks to Dave for his help, and yeah, it was good. We'll see you on the next one.
And we couldn't do it at that spot. I almost fell again.